There are reports, rumors, if you will, that James Harden wants to return to the Houston Rockets after his contract is up next season with the Philadelphia 76ers. He's taken a little bit of a pay cut. And of course, Adrian Wojnarowski decided to drop this bombshell on Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas, 76ers fans. That said, it has nothing to do with this current season. It's going to be in the offseason where all the drama is. I don't really understand why, because after James Harden ate his way out of Houston, he basically pouted his way out of Brooklyn and made his way over to the Philadelphia 76ers. And this is supposed to be where he wants to be, returning with Daryl Morey, being the point guard, being the not 1, but 1A to Joel Embiid, have another superstar. They're having great chemistry. They're winning basketball. So I don't really understand why James would want to go to another basketball team that is rebuilding. You look at the Houston Rockets roster, there's a whole bunch of youthful talent. They need a lot of time to develop. They're a good maybe 5 years away from starting to hit their prime, 20s, 19s, 22 is probably the oldest person who's going to be remaining on the roster for an extended period of time. I mean, yeah, they're just super duper young. Not that they don't have potential. I like the core. I like the roster that they're building, but it's going to be years before they're legitimate title contenders. But apparently a 34-year-old James Harden, how old is he at this point? 32? 33-year-old James Harden, who has regressed somewhat because he's been eating so much. He's lost a little bit of that explosiveness, has been dealing with a hamstring injury for the last 2-3 years, is saying, rumoring, hinting that he wants to go to the Rockets. Now, a lot of people, myself included, think this is all just a ploy to try to get a Supermax contract extension. He's having a career year, probably should be an all-star starting point guard, and he's up for a major contract extension because this contract that he signed right now has a player option. $33 million isn't really a lot compared to some of the other guys like Damian Lillard, who's going to be earning $60 million. So I believe this is all just a negotiation tactic, but what good would I be if we didn't go down this route and determine what the Houston Rockets would look like with a James Harden return to them in the next off season. So we're going to have to simulate through the season. It's whatever. I'm sure the Houston Rockets are going to be bad. They'll be trying to get Victor Wembanyama as we go on a win streak. Regardless, we're going to be seeing the Houston Rockets with James Harden in this upcoming offseason. And we seem to be winning games, which is kind of weird. This roster stinks. Do I want Alperen Sengun for Larry Nance in a first? No. Thank you, though. Appreciate that. Luka Doncic wins MVP. Paulo McCarroll, Rookie of the Year. 6th man, Colin Sexton. Anthony Davis, Defense Player of the Year. Trey Jones, Most Improved. Joe Mazzulla, Coach of the Year. Jacob Park wins Executive of the Year. All-NBA First Team. No Rockets. We didn't make the playoffs. I'm just going to sim through this offseason pretty quickly because it's not the point of who wins this. It's not a rebuild. We are just going to be determining what would the Houston Rockets look like with a James Harden return at age 34. Player retirements, Melo. I think I saw, Eric Gordon is gone, so that's going to be money off of our books. Hall of Fame inductees, Melo going to get his jersey retired as well. League meetings, all these are probably stupid, right? Yes, dumb, and yes. What is this? Top vote getters in their respect? Isn't that all? Anyway, on to the draft lottery. So this is kind of a big point, I guess. The Rockets have the number 7 pick. We won a few too many games. We'll see how this plans out as we pick at 8. Kind of a bad break for the Rockets. They were just too good. I don't know. They continued to win games. And it was bad for us because we want to be a bad team and we want to get Victor Wembanyama, but I guess we're not going to. Let's see if I can go after Greg Popovich. He always turns us down, but you never know. And if we have to, we'll just go get Mike Stauffer in return. Greg Popovich going to reject us as he always does, and we'll just pick somebody up in the draft at the number 8 pick. Simulating. Rockets number 8. Who's available to us? Baba Miller is available. That's pretty interesting. Max Lewis. I'll take Baba Miller. I would take Eamon Thompson if this was real life, but it's not. So Baba Miller, we'll pick him up. And then we have pick 25. I forget who it's from. Got another pick here. Jeb Howard. Really good pickup. Khalil Ware. We'll just go ahead and take our backup center of the future. Draft is over. Hornets get Victor Wembanyama. Rookie signings look fine to me. Team player options. So this is where we're going to start to needing to save some money. So Garrison Matthews, appreciate what you've done. Gone. Dyson gone. Josh Christopher will bring back Uzma Garuba. Martin, Alperen Sengun, and Jalen Green will be coming back for their money. Which means, do we have enough money to make an extended offer to James Harden? And we're going to have to kind of force him to come over to our team as well. The 76ers are offering him the sun and the moon. So I think even if we give him all the money in the world, he's still going to need a little more nudging to come join our team. All right, we got James Harden on the team. He's going to be the starting point guard. Kevin Porter Jr. right behind him. Basically almost the same archetype of player. And then Ty Washington, not going to get minutes. I appreciate what he does, though. Hopefully he gets minutes in real life because I think he's a supreme talent. He just needs to earn roster minutes over Dyson freaking Knicks. At the shooting guard position is Jalen Green and Josh Christopher. Then Baba Miller and Kenyon Martin Jr., Jabari Smith and Jayshawn Tate and Tari Eason, Alperen Şengün, Usman Garuba, and Bruno Fernando. Let's get Bruno Fernando off the team. Disgusting. Go away. Nobody likes you. First round pick from the Spurs will certainly do. And I want to make this as close to normal real life issues as I can. So I'll have Baba Miller coming off the bench just so he doesn't absorb too much of real life. I'm not really know what I'm saying. Hopping in through player progression. Doesn't matter. James Harden, though, is starting to regress down to an 87. This is why people are hesitant to giving him a Supermax 5-year contract, because he is older. He's not aging as well as, say, a LeBron James is. He's aging closer to how a Kemba Walker is at this point in their career. But of course, still a supreme talent, going to be our starting point guard, as the 9-man rotation is going to look something like this. James Harden, Jalen Green, Kenyon Martin Jr., Jabari Smith, Alperen Şengün. Coming off the bench now, which is what I think Kevin Porter should be doing in real life, is KPJ, Tari Eason, Baba Miller, Jayshawn Tate, and I guess Usman Garuba and Josh Christopher. Why not? Rocking an 11-man rotation. Actually, you know what? We're going to trade Jayshawn Tate because there's a lot of discrepancies and a lot of rumors, and he doesn't fit the timeline. I feel like Jayshawn Tate would be a good piece to trade away for draft capital to the Magic for a top 10 protected pick. That makes a lot of sense to me. So we can drop it to a 10-man rotation. His age doesn't fit the timeline. I appreciate that he's effort and intensity every single game, but we're going to have Kenyon Martin Jr. take over that role and drop the rotations down to 10 minutes. Josh Christopher, Usman Garuba, Brandon Miller, Baba Miller, Jesus, Tari Eason, Kevin Porter Jr. You already know. For the preseason power rankings with James Harden, the Houston Rockets are 19th for 2K Sports and 19th for Eric Boner as well. We'll see how this James Harden returning Houston Rockets squad looks. Jason Tatum wins MVP. Victor Wembanyama wins Rookie of the Year. Christian Wood, 6th Man of the Year on the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year. Tyrese Maxey, Most Improved Coach of the Year is Joe Mazzulla, and Jacob Park, yet again, Executive of the Year. All NBA first teams, the awards I don't care about. What I do care about is the Houston Rockets record. With James Harden coming over, they completely flip the script, go from being a lottery team, maybe picking in the top 5, to winning 58 games, #1 in the Western Conference. Talk about going from worst to first. There they are. A lot of games behind the Boston Celtics. I mean, they're just gods in simulation, but wow. What a season from James Harden, and what a season for the Houston Rockets squad. Jabari Smith led the way in scoring. Can you imagine that with James Harden, with Jalen Green, with Kevin Porter Jr., and it is Jabari who's taken over the scoring load. James Harden, what a season. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, shooting 45% from the three-point line. James Harden has been a glitch in simulation. Jalen Green, 18 points for him. Alperen Şengün, 12 and 8. Kevin Porter Jr. off the bench gave you 12, 3, and 5. And who was the other starter? Kenyon Martin Jr., who is he's heated because he's not getting any money, but he wouldn't re-sign a contract extension because he was heated. 2K needs to fix some of their logic when it comes to re-signing. It's so bleeping stupid. I can't. Can I show you? I can't. Whatever. Anyway, the Houston Rockets are the best team in the Western Conference, the #1 seed, and with James Harden, they are going to be going on a championship run. Look at this youthful squad still coming into their own while James Harden is coming down. Can you imagine if this happened in real life, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves? Anthony Edwards, no D'Angelo Russell, which they always seem to never re-sign, Karl Towns, and of course, Rudy Gobert. Definitely a flawed team when you look at the roster construction since they don't have a point guard. But here they are, up 2-1. 2-2, and bam, up 3-2. Jalen Green, 26 points. James Harden, 19, 3, and 10. Jabari Smith, 18 and 8. Baba Miller, 14 points off the bench. Kenny Martin Jr. Karl Towns was good for them. Anthony Edwards was good for them. Who is this? Chris Clemens? Why is he always so good for them in simulation? What is this? Former Rocket legend Chris Clemens, I might remind you, he played 1 year in Houston and then wasn't in the league for 4 seasons. As we go to 3-3, hey, it ain't 2K if it ain't Game 7. #1 seed versus the #8 seed in the first round goes to a Game 7. Not really what you want to see when you're trying to compete for a championship, but hey, we're losing. Maybe James Harden should have stayed home because he's not clutch, and it looks like the Houston Rockets are going to go home early. Game be a 1 seed upset not seen since the Dallas Mavericks lost to the Golden State Warriors. We got 1-8'd. No, we got 1-9'd. Can you believe it? The 9 seed advances to the second round as the Houston Rockets fall in disappointing fashion. Well, that's why you don't bring James Harden in to speed up the timeline, because the team is just not ready yet. LeBron James retiring. Jannere Perger is retiring. Hall of Fame inductees is Braun, Dwight, Cliff, all getting their jersey retired as well. League meetings, all these are stupid, stupid, stupid. Draft lottery, I don't really care at this point. We're just going to see one more year of progression, see if this team has what it takes to win a championship in the upcoming season. Unfortunately, it looks like Mike Stauffer might not be the answer. Onto the NBA draft of a whole bunch of creative players that we haven't scouted. Going to trade the picks away. The roster as constructed, as set, is probably going to be what we're going to keep for the long-term future. Let's trade this away for crap. Thank you. Come again. Rookie signing. We don't have any. Player options. A whole lot of young players on this squad. Holy crap. Qualifying offers. Kenny Martin Jr. I'd like to bring him back just because he was part of the roster, part of the rotation. But you look at this. I bet you he's not going to re-sign with us. Oh, he does. Well, that works. Come on, Kenyon. I'll be a little bit generous with the money as well. I'll give you a 14. I give you a 15 over 5. You should accept that. You should be happy with that, and you should not be heated anymore. That's right. It's a qualifying offer. I forgot 2K's free agency is still broken. Oh, Jaylen Brown up to a 91 overall. Pretty impressive if you ask me. So the roster is going to look basically the exact same as it did last year. James Harden, Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Josh Christopher, Baba Miller, Kenny Martin Jr., Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, Alperen Şengün, and Usman Garuba. Player progression, I expect James to regress maybe to an 85 at this point. He regresses really quickly in 2K. And yeah, there he is down to an 85. But Jalen Green up to a 91, Alperen Şengün up to an 84, and Jabari Smith up to an 83 as well, respectively. So this is the year. This determines if the James Harden Houston Rockets experiment was right after all. They made it in the regular season. They did everything they needed to. Now they need to do it in the postseason. James Harden at the 1, Jalen Green at the 2, Kenny Martin Jr. at the 3, Jabari Smith at the 4, and Alperen Şengün at the 5. Coming off the bench is Baba Miller, Kevin Porter Jr., Josh Christopher, Tari Eason, and Usman Garuba. Preseason power rankings. The Houston Rockets are out, still getting slept on. 12th for 2K Sports and Eric Boner as well. Darius Garland wins this year's MVP. Oscar Powers Rookie of the Year. Some creative player. 6th Man of the Year is Nick Smith Jr. Anthony Davis Defensive Player of the Year. Greg Jackson Most Improved on the Warriors. And JB Bickerstaff does win Coach of the Year. Brandon Harrison Executive of the Year. All NBA first teams I don't care about with the awards, as we are the 2 seed. We fell off a little bit. Had a couple of rough patches in the NBA season. 56 and 26 though is nothing to sneeze about. Power rankings, we are 2nd. So we're ahead of the Thunder even though they have 2 more wins than us. Take that, liberals. 4 player stats. Once again, Jalen Green lead the way for us. 21 points per game, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Wow, okay. Maybe he's the real James Harden Jr. Jabari Smith, once again, steady 19 points per game. James Harden regressing a little bit, 16, 4, and 8. Shooting 42% from the 3-point line. Not as good as his 45 last year, but still very good. Baba Miller, man, we found a stud here, but unfortunately, the video is not about him. Alperen Şengün, 11 and 8. Kevin Porter Jr., 10 and 5 off the bench. Josh Christopher gave you a 10. Kenny Martin Jr. has been really, really, really bad for us. And yet again, relations are upset. Why are you upset about the current situation? You're the starting small forward for this team. You got money. I'm done with Houston. I'll be moving on to a new team after the season. Go F yourself, Kenny Martin Jr. Anyway, here we are. Playoffs taking on the team that 1-9'd us last season, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Maybe they're our weakness. I really hope not, because I want to see this team win a championship as we lose game 1. Baba Miller gave you 27 and 4. Jabari Smith 23 and 7. Jalen Green gave you 17. James Harden 13 and 7. I don't know why we're just getting whooped. It's because Alperen Şengün can't play defense. I really should be putting Kalal Ware in the starting lineup. I'm going to drop the rotation down to 8. Maybe that'll help us out. Baba Miller gets thrust into the starting lineup, so the bench is just gonna be Kevin Porter Jr., Tari Eason, and Josh Christopher. We're going super small here, apparently. Kenny Martin Jr., go screw. We'll move him into the starting lineup. I feel like he's too undersized, though. We'll play Usman Garuba. He can be the backup center for like 20 minutes a game, whatever. We need a smaller rotation. We need a shorter rotation. And then the system proficiency is about as good as I can get it with Alperen Şengün. He's really holding us back, being completely honest. Baba Miller still coming along, but Alperen Şengün cannot play starting center minutes. Unfortunately, we win game 2. win game 3. Maybe these were the changes that we made. Here it is, 2-2. And we go up 3-2. James Harden, 28, 7, and 11. This looks like vintage James Harden. Jabari Smith, 26 and 9. Baba Miller, 21, 3 and 5. Jalen Green, 18. Alperen Şengün, 18. As for them, Karl Towns, 44 and 7. Anthony Edwards, 26, 6 and 10. Who? Edgar Swift, 76 overall, gave you a 13. Rudy Gobert, of course, 12 and 13. And it ain't 2K if it ain't Game 7. I swear to God, if we lose this embarrassingly in simulation yet again to the exact same team. Have I told you the definition of insanity? Going into the fourth quarter with a little bit of a lead. No lead is safe in NBA 2K23. That said, we have about a 20-point lead with 4 minutes left. I expect us to win, and the Houston Rockets make it out of the first round. Can you believe it? Another hard-fought series against the Timberwolves. So here we are taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. Man, they got Amen Thompson on this team. That's brutal. No spacing, but you don't need it. Amen Thompson, Dyson Daniels, Zion, and Dion Best. Who the hell are you? 56. They have literally one person who can shoot the 3. This roster construction is horrible. Anyway, I guess they got Chris Middleton too. You can't have too much of a good thing as we win game 1. Baba Miller, 27. Jalen Green, 26. James Harden, 23 and 10. Zion Williamson. What do they shoot from 3? 11 and 28. That's actually not that bad. Yeah, Zion shot 0. Amen. They have Amen as a good 3-point shooter. Bro, he's trash. He's like a 28% 3-point shooter right now. Dyson Daniels, 1 for 3. Brandon Ingram, 1 for 4. Who is this? Jalen Williams. They got J-Dub. He's a rookie. How? Huh. 2K is weird, man. Anyway, we win game 2. Looks like we are going to be dominating them as we 3-0 and 3-1 and 3-2. Oh my God, what is happening? James Harden, 22, 5 and 10. Jabari Smith, 22 and 8. Jalen Green was okay, 18. Alperen Şengün, 14 and 8. Baba Miller wasn't all that good. Chris Middleton gave him 29. Zion Williamson almost had a triple-double, 20, 11, and 9. Never forget Brandon Ingram, 19. Amen Thompson, 17. Dyson Daniels, 11. Dion Best, was that his name? Jesus. All right, 3-2, come on. Ah, Jesus, it ain't 2K if it ain't Game 7. Are we about to blow a 3-0 lead in the playoffs? How many times can you blow a 3-0 lead ever? In the history of the NBA, how many times has there been a 3-0 lead? And then you look at 2K simulation and it happens every single season. Anyway, even though we've been winning every single quarter, we have a very slight, very minute lead here. Game 7, low scoring contest, 93-91. We're going to be hopping in at about, I'll say 2 minutes left. I don't want to hop in too early. There you go, 196. No, they just took a lead. Oh my God. There you go, 104, 106. 1.5 minutes left. We're hopping in, baby. Get your best players in the game and make sure they produce. Zion versus Jabari Smith, number 1. Oh my God, he just ran right out of bounds. Dyson, what are you doing? Dyson Daniels choking the game away. So Jalen Green is going to be our number 1 option for sure. And then I don't think 2K knows that Zion Williamson is a horrible defender. So we're just gonna pretend that he's a GOAT tier defender and just let James Harden splash for. Oh my God. You didn't see that. James Harden has a really quick 3-point release. I did not know that. That's a problem. Anyway, Zion, obviously beastly, going left. Gonna make this. Zion, really good at basketball. Who knew? Moop, yup, yup. Yep, there you go. That's it. That's what Zion does. Hey, Jalen, I need you to be legendary for us. I need to get an open lane and just yam it on him. Yam it! Get the and one on Zion Williamson. Get the blocking foul. You can't take a flop in the playoffs, son. This is Game 7. Win or go home. Bam, I missed. Oh, Alperen Şengün should have got that rebound. Damn, all right. Who's this? Chris Middleton on Jalen Green. I'll take that. Nice mean step back. There we go. We got a little bit of a lead. Give the ball to James Harden. Should we drain the clock or should we go for it? Double cross. James Harden gets around, goes for the layup, gets the foul. Chris Middleton. All right, I haven't made a single shot that requires the shot meter, so let's see if this one goes in. James Harden, only 9 points, 0 of 7 from 3. Brutal. As we do make a free throw. Can you believe it? Get out the cheers. We did it. Free throws. 2-4-2. We got a 4-point lead. 35 seconds left. Let's stop this team. Let's get this dub. And let's go to the Western Conference Finals. It hasn't been easy, but you got to do what you got to do. When the going gets tough, the tough get going, and Eamon Thompson is locked up by 35-year-old James Harden playing defense. Zion going nowhere, drawing the foul. Come on, ref. I can't challenge that, I'm out of timeouts. And it's James Harden, of course, the star of this video. 92 free throw rating, even after regressing. Come on, James, and take this one home. They're just dribbling out the clock, wasting precious seconds, nothing to do. 4-point deficit. Chris Middleton jacking up a contested three, misses, and that's probably gonna do it for this one. We're gonna hop into Simcast as we walk away with the dub, 116 to 110. James Harden led the way. Bobby Miller led the way, but James Harden hit the clutch free throws that we needed into 13 points, 7-7 from the free throw line, 11 assists, and this young squad is coming into its own, all thanks to Grandpa James. He said the strip clubs in Houston are too good. We're taking on the Utah Jazz. Huh. Okay. D'Angelo Russell doesn't make a lot of sense. Anthony Black playing shooting guard. And whoever does these 2K games, they've got Anthony Black as like an elite scorer, which is absolutely bizarre to me if you watch his college tape. Lauri Markkanen, Jared Vanderbilt, Walker Kessler, Colin Sexton off the bench. Trey Jones, you have no size. Mike Conley, Bruce Brown, everybody on your team is like 6'2". Anyway, game one, we win. Jabari Smith pops off for 43 points in game one. We dominated the Jazz. Holy crap, they had 4 guys scoring double digits. Well, all right, we win game two. We lose 2-1, and we're up 3-1. Colin Sexton, 20 points. Anthony Black, 17, 4, and 4. Lauri Markkanen, only 15 points. Walker Kessler. Trey Jones gave him 15 off the bench. D'Lo, 19 and 12. That's a weird stat line for him. He went 3 of 15 from the field. And Jabari gave us 29 and 5. Jalen Green, 20 and 2. Alpera and Chengu, 19 and 6. James Harden, 15 and 8. Bobby Miller, 14 points as we advance to the finals. Jalen Green, Western Conference Finals MVP. Darius Garland, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Josh Hart. That's a really good pickup. And Sadiq Bey. How did they afford that? Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, D'Anthony Melton, Buddy Hield, Cody Martin. They're a good team. They're a deep team, but we might be better as we lose game one. Darius Garland, 32 and 10. Jared Allen gave him 30 and 9. I'm telling you, if we had a real center instead of Alperen Sengun, this team would be fine. Donovan Mitchell, 23 points. Evan Mobley, 18 and 13. Buddy Hield, 13. Sadiq Bey, 12. How did our team do? James Harden was solid, 29 and 7. Jalen Green, 27, 4 and 5. Kevin Porter Jr., 22 off the bench. The rest of the starters did not produce as we lose game two, win 2-1, 2-2. Hey, competitive game 5 here. I'm going to hop into Simcast because if we can steal this, we'll take it a commanding 3-2 lead. That said, we're getting completely blown out. We're going to lose by 40. Yeah, that was embarrassing. 142 to 115. Okay, you need this to force a game 7, and I think the Cavs are just too good in simulation. Even for the James Harden Rockets, I think we're going to come up a little bit short as we do, in fact, lose. And there you have it. The Cleveland Cavaliers are the finals champions. Darius Garland, NBA Finals MVP. So James Harden returning to the Rockets could be a good thing in theory. I just don't think the timelines fit. And like I said, I think this is more about contract negotiations than James Harden actually wanting to return to Houston and look at Houston strippers. So that's going to do it for me. Let me know what your thoughts are on the James Harden rumors, and I'll catch you in the next one.